Salt is a 2010 American action thriller film directed by Phillip Noyce and written by Kurt Wimmer. It stars Angelina Jolie, Liev Schreiber, Daniel Olbrychski, August Diehl, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Jolie plays CIA operative Evelyn Salt, who is accused of being a Russian sleeper agent and goes on the run to try to clear her name. Originally written with a male protagonist, with Tom Cruise initially secured for the lead, the script was ultimately rewritten by Brian Helgeland for Jolie. Filming took place on location in Washington, D.C., New York City, and Albany, New York, between March and June 2009, with reshoots in January 2010. Action scenes were primarily performed with practical stunts, computer-generated imagery being used mostly for creating digital environments. The film had a panel at San Diego Comic-Con on July 22 and was released in North America on July 23, 2010. Salt grossed $294 million at the worldwide box office and received generally positive reviews, with praise for the action scenes and Jolie's performance, but drawing criticism on the writing, with reviewers finding the plot implausible and convoluted. The DVD and Blu-ray discs were released on December 21, 2010, and featured two alternate cuts providing different endings for the film. Salt was nominated for Best Sound Mixing at the 83rd Academy Awards. Plot: Evelyn Salt is in prison in North Korea, suspected of being a U.S. spy. The CIA arranges a prisoner exchange to stifle the publicity her boyfriend, arachnologist Mike Krause, is bringing to her case. He proposes marriage despite her admission that she is a CIA operative. 2 years later, Salt interrogates Russian defector Oleg Vasilyevich Orlov, with CIA colleague Ted Winter and counterintelligence officer Daryl Peabody observing. Orlov claims that on day X, Russian sleeper agents known as CAS will destroy the U.S., and that Agent K-12 will assassinate Russian President Boris Medvedev at the impending funeral of the U.S. Vice President. He says K-12's name is Evelyn Salt. Because of this, Peabody orders Salt to be detained, while Orlov kills 2 agents and escapes. She also escapes and tries to phone her husband Mike while traveling to their home and evading the pursuing CIA and police. Mike has been kidnapped. Salt gathers supplies including weapons and a spider in a jar. Salt shoots Medvedev at the vice president's funeral and surrenders to Peabody instead of taking the opportunity to kill him. Medvedev is pronounced dead. Salt escapes to a barge where Orlov is waiting with other sleeper agents. In a flashback she recalls her childhood in the Soviet Union, being trained with other children and assuming the identity of the real Evelyn Salt, an American girl who died with her parents in a car crash in the Soviet Union. Orlov tests Salt by reuniting her with Mike only to immediately have him killed in front of her. Her lack of reaction convinces him, so he says she and another Ka will assassinate US President Howard Lewis. Salt kills Orlov and the other agents and leaves to meet with the Ka Schneider in his cover as a Czech, NATO liaison officer. Disguised as Schneider's male attaché, Salt accompanies him into the White House, where Schneider launches a suicide attack, driving the president into a secure underground bunker, accompanied by Winter and other agents. Salt manages to enter the outer bunker before it is sealed. Russia mobilizes its nuclear arsenal in response to President Medvedev's assassination. US President Lewis orders preparations for retaliation. Upon realizing Salt has entered the outer bunker, Winter kills everyone in the inner bunker except the president, revealing himself to be Ka Nikolai Tarkovsky. Incapacitating the president, Tarkovsky begins targeting missiles at Mecca and Tehran to incite 1 billion Muslims against the US. Salt professes admiration and nearly persuades him to let her join him in the inner bunker when a broadcast reports that President Medvedev is alive, his vital signs having been nearly suppressed by spider venom. Tarkovsky soon realizes Salt is not on his side and reveals that she is to be the patsy for the nuclear attacks. She breaks into the bunker and, after a fight, aborts the missile launch. Reinforcements arrive and Salt is arrested as Winter/Tarkovsky identifies himself as CIA. As Salt is being led out in chains, Tarkovsky grabs a pair of scissors. As she is led past him, she throws her chain around his neck and jumps over the railing, killing him. Alone with Peabody in a helicopter, Salt explains her actions to him, promising to hunt down the remaining Ka agents if freed, pointing out that Matveyev is alive and that she had not shot him earlier. Salt's fingerprints are found on the barge, convincing Peabody, who allows her to jump from the helicopter into the Potomac River. Cast: Angelina Jolie as Evelyn Salt, a CIA operative accused of being an agent for the KGB. Liev Schreiber as Theodore Ted Winter/Nikolai Tarkovsky, head of the CIA's Russia House 4. Chiwetel Ejiofor as Daryl Peabody, an ON6 agent in pursuit of Salt 5. Daniel Olbrychsky as Oleg Vasily Orlov, the Russian defector and spymaster. Daniel Pierce as a younger Orlov in the flashbacks. August Diehl as Mike Krause, Salt's husband. Taika Sumpter as front desk woman. Oleg Krupa as Boris Matveyev, the President of Russia. Hunt Block as Howard Lewis, the President of the United States. Corey Stahl as Schneider, the Russian suicide bomber sent to his death by Orlov. Andrei Broder as Secretary of Defense. Gaius Charles as CIA officer. Zoe Lister-Jones as CIA Security Hub Tech. Jeremy Davidson as President's Secret Service agent. Jeb Brown as bunker technician. Vitaly Baganov as new Russian president. Victoria Cartagena as Portico checkpoint agent. Camar de los Reyes as Secret Service agent. Victor Slezak as one-star general. Alex Garfin as the youngest Chenkov 6-7. Production, development and writing. The early development of the script began while Kurt Wimmer was doing interviews promoting Equilibrium. In a November 2002 interview, he discussed on which scripts he was working. He stated, "I have several scripts, foremost of which is one called The Far-Reaching Philosophy of Edwin A. Salt, kind of a high-action spy thriller, 8." In another interview, Wimmer described the project as very much about me and my wife. 9. The plot incorporated many elements from Equilibrium, with an oppressive and paranoid political system of brainwashing that gets overthrown by one of its high-ranking members, who rebels due to an emotional transformation. 10. With the shortened title Edwin A. Salt, the script was sold to Columbia Pictures in January 2007. 11. By July 2007, the script had attracted the attention of Tom Cruise. 12. Terry George was the first director to join the project, and he also did some revisions to the script, but he soon left the project. Peter Berg was the next director to consider, but he, too, eventually dropped out for undisclosed reasons. 13. 14. A year later, Phillip Noyce was confirmed to direct. 15. Noyce was attracted to Salt for its espionage themes, which are present in most of his filmography. 16. As well as the tension of a character who tries to prove his innocence, yet also does what he was previously accused of. 17. Casting: Liev Schreiber. Schreiber was chosen for his hidden emotionality and his performance in Defiance. 17. Initial discussions took place in 2008 between Cruise and Noyce about Cruise playing Edwin A. Salt. These discussions were going on for more than a year between the pair and their representatives. Cruise decided he was unable to commit to the script because he feared that the character was too close to his mission, impossible character Ethan Hunt. 18. Cruise decided to work on Night and Day, instead. The filmmakers tried to differentiate the character from Hunt, but eventually came to accept they were too similar and decided not to change the characteristics of Salt. Noyce said, "But, you know, he had a valid point. It was kind of returning to an offshoot of a character that he'd already played. It's like playing the brother, or the cousin, of somebody that you played in another movie." 18. Columbia Pictures executive Amy Pascal suggested Angelina Jolie to Noyce, who had often spoken to Jolie in the past about a desire to create a female spy franchise. 18. Pascal even invited Jolie for a Bond girl role, but the actress replied that she was more interested in playing James Bond herself, instead. 19. Jolie was sent Salt's script in September 2008 and liked it. Wimmer, Noyce, and producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura went to visit Jolie at her home in France to discuss a possible script and character change. Writer Brian Helgeland helped with the character development and dialogue of the script based on the notes that came out of those discussions with Jolie, and to accompany the gender change, the title character's name was changed to Evelyn Salt. 18. One of Jolie's requests was to rework the third act, which originally had Salt rescue his wife and son from a coalition of villains because she did not believe a mother would neglect her child in this kind of situation. Wimmer decided then to make Salt more crucial to the villain's schemes, and add a sequence where Salt breaks into a place harder than Fort Knox. After considering Camp David, Wimmer settled on the White House. 17. When asked if the script written for Cruise was the same for Jolie, he said, "I think that it's just been a continual process, obviously accelerating by changing the central character, but the ideas, the locomotive of ideas that drive the film, are the same. An undercover CIA operative is accused of being a Russian mole, and has to go on the run to defend himself. That's been the same since day one. The tone of the film has changed in this evolution. In the same way, I guess, as, you know, action thrillers have changed along the lines of the Bond films and the Bourne films." 1820. On February 19, 2009, Liev Schreiber was reported to play the role of Ted Winter, Evelyn Salt's friend and colleague in the CIA. 21. 3 days later, Chiwetel Ejiofor was named as CIA Officer Peabody, who is in pursuit of Salt. 22. Noyce said Ejiofor, whom he first saw in Dirty Pretty Things, seemed to have the intelligence and disarming sort of obsessiveness that a counterintelligence officer would need. 17. August Deal, who played Salt's husband Mike Krause, came after a recommendation from Jolie's partner Brad Pitt, who had worked with Deal in Inglourious Bastard, and Daniel Olbrychski was chosen for Orlov because Andrei Konchalovsky told Noyce that such an evil Russian character could only be played by a Polish actor. 17. Filming. On a budget of $130 million, a principal photography took place mostly on location in New York City and Washington, D.C. 123 from March to June 2009. 24, 25, 26 Noyce decided to avoid typical postcard views of Washington, D.C. to reflect the more day-to-day environment of massive federal buildings inhabited by the typical bureaucrat. 19 The opening sequence in North Korea was shot at the Floyd Bennett Field, with an extra who had experience with prisoner exchanges acting as a consultant. Salt's rendezvous with Orlov was shot on the Frying Pan, a former lighthouse ship, now moored in the Hudson River, at 26th Street in New York. The outside of the Ka training facility was the Makaryev Monastery in Russia. 17 While the interior was the Russian Orthodox Cathedral of the Holy Virgin Protection in New York's East Village, where the funeral was also shot. 19 Filming for a chase sequence took place on Water Street in Albany, New York, near the Interstate 787 ramp, between April and May. 27 Studio production took place at Grumman Studios in Bethpage, New York. 28-29 Stevens Alien was brought for uncredited rewrites. 30 Filming also took place on 157th St. and Riverside Drive in the Upper Manhattan neighborhood of Washington Heights. Some scenes were also filmed outside of Manhattan, including the Bronx, Queens, and Staten Island, and in Westchester County. After Jolie had just given birth to twins. 31 She spent time training before filming to get fit to perform almost all of the stunts herself. Bonaventura said, "She is so prepared and so ready and gung-ho, she'll do any stunt. We had her jumping out of helicopters, shooting, jumping off of all sorts of things and infiltrating places that are impossible to infiltrate." 32 Salt's fighting style was described as a mixture of Muay Thai, Shaolin Kung Fu, and Jeet Kune Do, which was considered by the stunt team the most suitable for Jolie's physique, and Krav Maga, for its rawness and aggressiveness. Noyce wanted to film the scene where Salt hangs from the edge of the building in a studio with chroma key, but Jolie insisted on doing it herself in the actual location. 31 On May 29, 2009, filming was temporarily halted after Jolie suffered a minor head injury while filming an action scene. She was taken to a hospital as a precautionary measure and released on the same day with no serious injuries, allowing filming to resume. 33 Salt's escape after being captured in St. Bartholomew's originally involved her jumping off a building into a window cleaning machine, but budgetary constraints caused the scene to be changed into a car chase. 17. Computer-generated imagery, CGI, was used extensively throughout the film to create environments and elements, such as bullet holes and flames. More dangerous objects such as a taser or the handcuffs used to strangle Winter were also made from CGI. 5 companies were responsible for visual effects. The 2 most involved were CIS Vancouver and Framestore. CIS Vancouver recreated the White House since the crew did not have permission to shoot in the building, and made a digital elevator shaft for the scene where Salt goes down into the White House bunker. Framestore was responsible for the assassination attempt on the Russian president, which combined actual shots of St. Bartholomew's Church, a digital recreation of the church's interior, and scenes with actor Oleg Krupa falling down a collapsing floor. 34-35. Female CIA officers were consulted about the creation of disguises, leading to the scene where Salt undergoes subtle changes to disguise herself as a Czech. The sweet and caring blonde Salt dyeing her hair black would represent the shift to Chenkov, the menacing Russian agent. For the scene where Salt disguises herself as a major, pictures of Angelina Jolie were treated on Adobe Photoshop to create a believable male version, with the resulting image being used by the makeup team as an inspiration for the prosthetics. 36. The film's test screenings were poor. Sony brought in producer and Slate co-financier Joseph M. Singer, former head of Universal's Motion Picture Group, to oversee a rewrite and reshoots. Jolie said he made the film more comprehensible to moviegoers. Singer was paid an exorbitant price at the time, $2 million, for 2 months of work. Subsequently, he praised Noyce and de Bonaventura, stating his contributions were minimal. Versions. Director Phillip Noyce has said that, due to the extensive usage of flashbacks, there was always going to be a mountain of alternative material that would not fit into the theatrical version. 37. The film ended up having 2 extra versions, the director's cut, and the extended cut, which Noyce refers to in his audio commentary as the film's original cut, both included on the DVD and Blu-ray disc deluxe editions. 38. The director's cut was described by Noyce as my own personal take on the material, free from the politics and restrictions of producers, studio, or censorship ratings. 37 4 minutes of film were added, leading to a running time of 104 minutes. 38 more flashbacks were added, and the violence was amped up, for example, Mike being drowned rather than shot to death. 39 The ending is also different. In the bunker scene, Winter kills the president instead of only knocking him unconscious. 1737 Noyce has described the ending as an ending, yet just a beginning, one that turns the entire story on its head. This refers to the final scene, in which a newsreel voiceover announces that the newly elected President of the United States has officially declared Salt dead and is embarking on a peacekeeping mission to Moscow. The scene also mentions him laying flowers at the plane crash site that claimed the lives of his father, mother, and sister years earlier, suggesting that he himself may be one of the KA agents. 39. The extended cut increases the running time by only 1 minute, but rewrites the plot by removing, rearranging, and adding scenes. 38. Soundtrack. Main article, Salt, Soundtrack. Salt, original motion picture soundtrack was released on July 20, 2010, on iTunes and on August 10, 2010, as an on-demand CDR from Amazon.com. The music was composed by James Newton Howard and released by Madison Gate Records. 40. The song Your Love Story includes a Russian lullaby that music editor Joe E. Rand found at Amoeba Music, and which served as inspiration for the choir heard in other tracks, but the chants in the rest of the score are only random syllables, as Rand and Howard thought actual Russian words would be a spoil about Salt's allegiance. 41. Release. A woman in a red dress. Jolie at the Moscow premiere of the film on July 25, 2010. The film's marketing campaign included a panel at San Diego Comic-Con on July 22, 2010 42 and an episodic advert game titled Day X Exists, where players watched webisodes and performed missions to unveil the terrorist plot. 43. It was released in the United States on July 23, 2010. It was released on August 18 in the United Kingdom, despite poster advertisements suggesting it would be released on August 20. 44-45 The deluxe unrated edition Blu-ray disc and DVD were released on December 21, 2010, by Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. It includes 3 versions of the film, the original theatrical film and 2 additional unrated extended cuts not seen in theaters with 2 alternate endings. A theatrical edition DVD was also released. 46 In the home video charts, Salt debuted at first in the rentals and third in sales. 47. Reception. Box office. Salt grossed $118.3 million in the United States and Canada, and $175.2 million in other countries, for a worldwide total of $293.5 million. 2. Sony predicted an opening weekend take in the low $30 million range, while commentators thought it would come in closer to $40 million and possibly beat Inception for the #1 spot at the box office. 48 Salt opened in 3,612 theaters, with a first-day gross of $12.5 million and an opening weekend total of $36.0 million, finishing behind Inception, which made $42.7 million in its second weekend. Salt also grossed $15 million from 19 international markets. 49.50 In its second weekend, it declined in ticket sales by 45.9%, making $19.5 million and placed number 3 behind Inception and Dinner for Schmucks. 51 It was released in 29 countries that same weekend, and grossed $25.4 million. 52-53. Critical response. Salt received generally positive reviews from critics. 54 Review aggregation website Rotten Tomatoes gives the film an approval rating of 62% based on 250 reviews, with an average rating of 6.00/10. The site's critical consensus reads, Angelina Jolie gives it her all in the title role, and her seasoned performance is almost enough to save Salt from its predictable and ludicrous plot. 55. Metacritic assigned the film a weighted average score of 65 out of 100 based on 42 critics, indicating generally favorable reviews. 54 audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B+ on an A+ to F scale. 56-57. A woman in front of a microphone. Jolie at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010 on the Salt panel. The actress' performance was considered one of the film's strong points. 58. Many reviewers highlighted the coincidence of Salt's release shortly after the revelation of real Russian sleeper agents in the illegals program. 59-60-61 with some comparing Salt to one of the agents, Anna Chapman. 62-63 Kirk Honeycutt of The Hollywood Reporter said that, while preposterous at every turn, Salt is a better Bond movie than most recent Bond movies, as its makers keep the stunts real and severely limit CGI gimmickry. 64 Justin Chang of Variety said Jolie was in her element, submitting gamely to the mayhem and hitting crucial emotional notes with effective understatement, and called the film a brisk, professionally assembled, but finally shrug-inducing thriller. 58. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert gave the film 4 stars, his maximum, saying Salt is a damn fine thriller. It's gloriously absurd. This movie has holes in it big enough to drive the whole movie through. The laws of physics seem to be suspended here the same way as in a Roadrunner cartoon. 65. Time magazine reviewer Richard Corliss praised the action scenes and Noyce's persistence in keeping a serious tone. He ignores the story's preposterous elements and lets the audience decide whether to laugh, Shudder, or both. 62 Empire's William Thomas praised Jolie's performance, remarking, "When it comes to selling incredible, crazy, death-defying antics, Jolie has few peers in the action business." 61 And The Village Voice's Karina Longworth considered that original star Tom Cruise would never express the protagonist's ambiguity as well as Jolie. 59. Among negative responses, The New Yorker's David Denby said Salt is as impersonal an action thriller as we've seen in years, finding the supporting cast underexplored. The tricky plot locks them into purely functional responses. 66 Claudia Poog of the USA Today considered the film a by-the-book thriller with Jolie's performance as the only distinguishing feature. 63 Lawrence Topman of the Charlotte Observer described the film as absurd, overplotted, and incoherent, and said the villainous schemes would have been called off 20 years ago at the latest when the Soviet Union dissolved. 67 Stephen Aurier of the Philadelphia Inquirer described Salt as commendably swift and progressively inane, saying the script was a sloppy concoction of story elements from 70s espionage classics that ended up not working right with its nonsensical setups and wildly illogical twists. 68 James Berardinelli of Real Views considered that, while the film was fast-paced and the action scenes competently shot, the plot was predictable and the spy aspects, which are, by far, the most intriguing elements of the movie, are shunted aside in favor of spectacular stunts and long chases. 69. Awards. Salt received one Academy Award nomination, for Best Sound Mixing, Jeffrey J. Haybush, Greg P. Russell, Scott Millen, and William Sarakin, which it lost to Inception. 70. The film won Best Action/Adventure Film at the Saturn Awards, with Angelina Jolie being nominated for Best Actress, and the deluxe unrated edition being nominated for Best DVD Special Edition. 71. At the Taurus World Stunt Awards, stunt woman Janae Carlton's jump on a moving truck won Best Overall Stunt by a Stunt Woman, and the film was nominated for Best Stunt Coordinator and/or Second Unit Director. 72. It was also nominated for Satellite Awards for Cinematography and Original Score. 73. A Golden Reel Award for Sound Effects and Foley. 74. A People's Choice Award for Favorite Action Movie. 75. And 2 Teen Choice Awards. 76. The film was nominated for a Visual Effects Society Award for Outstanding Supporting Visual Effects in a Feature Motion Picture but lost to Hereafter. 77. Future. Salt 2 redirects here. For the arms limitation talks, see Salt 2. Director Phillip Noyce was optimistic about a sequel, saying hopefully within a couple of years, we'll have another one. Angelina's so great in this part. When audiences see the movie they're going to feel like it's only just the beginning. 78. Producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura also expressed further interest. Angie, I know, loved that character, and would love to explore the character some more first and foremost. 79. Noyce later said he had other projects and would not participate. Those 3 Blu-ray disc cuts represent just about everything I have to offer on Evelyn Salt. If there ever is a sequel, better it's directed by someone with a completely fresh take on what I believe could be a totally entertaining and complex series of stories. 37. On June 6, 2011, Wimmer was announced as a screenwriter, but Jolie equivocated, if it comes together right. 80. She rejected Wimmer's first draft for Salt 2 in early 2012. 81. On December 10, 2012, Sony Pictures announced hiring screenwriter Becky Johnston. 82. 83, known for The Prince of Tides, 7 Years in Tibet, and Arthur Newman, 84, as well as producers Lorenzo de Bonaventura and Sunil Prakash. 85. The project ultimately died. 86. Sony was said to be developing a Salt TV series as an alternative in 2016, but it also never came to fruition. Angelina Jolie, /Jolie, born Angelina Jolie Voigt on June 4, 1975, DCMG, is an American actress, filmmaker, and humanitarian. She is the recipient of numerous accolades, including an Academy Award, a Tony Award and 3 Golden Globe Awards. Films in which she has appeared have grossed over $6.9 billion worldwide. 3. She has been named Hollywood's highest-paid actress multiple times. Jolie made her screen debut as a child alongside her father, Jon Voight, in Lookin' to Get Out, 1982. Her film career began in earnest a decade later with the low-budget production Cyborg 2, 1993, followed by her first leading role in Hackers, 1995. After starring in the television films George Wallace, 1997, and Gia, 1998, Jolie won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for the 1999 drama Girl, Interrupted. Her portrayal of the titular heroine in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001, established her as a leading lady. Jolie's commercial success continued with roles in the action films Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, Wanted, 2008, and Salt, 2010, as well as in the fantasy films Maleficent, 2014, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, 2019, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe superhero film Eternals, 2021. Jolie gained critical praise for her dramatic performances in A Mighty Heart, 2007, Changeling, 2008, which earned her a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Actress, and Maria, 2024. She also had voice roles in the animated films Shark Tale, 2004, and the Kung Fu Panda franchise, 2008 to 2016. As a filmmaker, Jolie directed and wrote the war dramas In the Land of Blood and Honey, 2011, Unbroken, 2014, First They Killed My Father, 2017, and Without Blood, 2024. She also produced the musical The Outsiders, 2024, which won the Tony Award for Best Musical. Jolie is known for her humanitarian efforts. The causes she promotes include conservation, education, and women's rights. She has been noted for her advocacy on behalf of refugees as a special envoy for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. She has undertaken field missions to refugee camps and war zones worldwide. In addition to receiving a Jean Hershold Humanitarian Award among other honors, Jolie was made an honorary Dame Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, DCMG. As a public figure, Jolie has been cited as one of the most powerful and influential people in the American entertainment industry. She has been cited as the world's most beautiful woman by various publications. Her personal life, including her relationships and health, has been the subject of widespread attention. Jolie is divorced from actors Johnny Lee Miller, Billy Bob Thornton, and Brad Pitt. She has 6 children with Pitt. Early life and background. Angelina Jolie Voight was born on June 4, 1975, at Cedars-Sinai Hospital in Los Angeles, California, to actors Jon Voight and Markellen Bertrand. 456. She is the sister of actor James Haven, and the niece of singer Chip Taylor. 7. And geologist and volcanologist Barry Voight. 8. Her godparents are actors Jacqueline Bisset and Maximilian Schell. 9. On her father's side, Jolie is of German and Slovak descent. 10. While on her mother's side, she is of Dutch and French ancestry. She is a distant relative of former Dutch finance minister and Prime Minister Wim Kok. 11. 12. 13. Jolie has claimed to have distant indigenous, Iroquois, ancestry through her French-Canadian mother. However, her father says Jolie is not seriously Iroquois, saying it is something he and Bertrand made up to make Bertrand seem more exotic. 14. Jolie's father, actor Jon Voight, attending the 60th Academy Awards in 1988. Following her parents' separation in 1976, she and her brother lived with their mother, who had abandoned her acting ambitions to focus on raising her children. 15. Jolie's mother raised her as a Catholic but did not require her to go to church. 16. As a child, she often watched films with her mother, and it was this, rather than her father's successful career, that inspired her interest in acting. 17. Though she had a bit part in Voight's Lookin' to Get Out, 1982, at age 7. 18 When Jolie was 6 years old, Bertrand and her live-in partner, filmmaker Bill Day, moved the family to Palisades, New York. 19 They returned to Los Angeles 5 years later. 15 Jolie then decided she wanted to act and enrolled at the Lee Strasberg Theatre Institute, where she trained for 2 years and appeared in several stage productions. 20. Jolie first attended Beverly Hills High School, where she felt isolated among the children of some of the area's affluent families because her mother had a more modest income. She was teased by other students, who targeted her for being extremely thin and for wearing glasses and braces. 17 Her early attempts at modeling, at her mother's insistence, proved unsuccessful. 21-22 She transferred to Moreno High School, an alternative school, where she became a punk outsider. 21 Wearing all black clothing, going out motioning, and engaging in knife play with her live-in boyfriend. 17 She dropped out of her acting classes and aspired to become a funeral director. 18 Taking at-home courses on embalming. 23 At age 16, after the relationship had ended, Jolie graduated from high school and rented her own apartment before returning to theater studies. 15-21 Though in 2004 she referred to this period with the observation, "I am still at heart and always will be just a punk kid with tattoos." 24. As a teenager, Jolie found it difficult to emotionally connect with other people, and as a result she self-harmed. 25 Later commenting, "For some reason, the ritual of having cut myself and feeling the pain, maybe feeling alive, feeling some kind of release, it was somehow therapeutic to me." 26. She also struggled with insomnia and an eating disorder. 23 And began using drugs. By age 20, she had used just about every drug possible, particularly heroin. 27 Jolie had episodes of depression and planned to commit suicide twice at age 19 and again at 22, when she attempted to hire a hitman to kill her. 18 When she was 24, she experienced a nervous breakdown and was admitted for 72 hours to UCLA Medical Center's psychiatric ward. 18 2 years later, after adopting her first child, Jolie found stability, later stating, "I knew once I committed to Maddox, I would never be self-destructive again." 28. Jolie has had a lifelong dysfunctional relationship with her father, which began when Voight left the family when she was less than a year old. 29 She has said that from then on their time together was sporadic and usually carried out in front of the press. 30 They reconciled when they appeared together in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001, but their relationship again deteriorated. 15 Jolie petitioned the court to legally remove her surname, Voight, in favor of her middle name, which she had long used as a stage name. The name change was granted on September 12, 2002. 31 Voight then went public with their estrangement during an appearance on Access Hollywood, in which he claimed Jolie had serious mental problems. 32. At that point, her mother and brother also broke off contact with him. 33 Jolie and Voight did not speak for 6.5 years. 34 Eventually rebuilding their relationship in the wake of Bertrand's death from ovarian cancer on January 27, 2007. 33-35 And they both went public with their reconciliation 3 years later. 33. Career. Early work, 1991 to 1997. Jolie committed to acting professionally at age 16, but initially found it difficult to pass auditions, often being told that her demeanor was too dark. 18. She appeared in 5 of her brother's student films, made while he attended the USC School of Cinema Television, as well as in several music videos, such as those for Lenny Kravitz's Stand By My Woman, 1991, Antonello Venditti's Alta Maria, 1991, The Lemonheads' It's About Time, 1993, and Meatloaf's Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through, 1993. In 1993, she also appeared on the cover of the Widespread Panic album Everyday. 36 Jolie then learned from her father by noticing his method of observing people to become like them. Their relationship was less strained during this time, with Jolie realizing that they were both drama queens. 17. Jolie began her professional film career in 1993, when she played her first leading role in the direct-to-video science fiction sequel Cyborg 2, as a near-human robot designed for corporate espionage and assassination. She was so disappointed with the film that she did not audition again for a year. 18 Following a supporting role in the independent film Without Evidence, 1995, she starred in her first major studio film, Hackers, 1995. The New York Times critic Janet Maslin wrote that Jolie's character stands out, because she scowls even more sourly than her co-stars and is that rare female hacker who sits intently at her keyboard in a see-through top. 37. Hackers failed to make a profit at the box office, but developed a cult following after its video release. 38. The role in Hackers is considered Jolie's breakthrough. 39. 40-41. After starring in the modern-day Romeo and Juliet adaptation Love Is All There Is, 1996, Jolie appeared in the road movie Mojave Moon, 1996. In Foxfire, 1996, she played Legs, a drifter who unites 4 teenage girls against a teacher who has sexually harassed them. Jack Matthews of the Los Angeles Times wrote of her performance, "It took a lot of hogwash to develop this character, but Jolie, Jon Voight's knockout daughter, has the presence to overcome the stereotype." Though the story is narrated by Maddie, Legs is the subject and the catalyst. 42. In 1997, Jolie starred with David Duchovny in the thriller Playing God, set in the Los Angeles underworld. The film was not well received by critics. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert wrote that Jolie finds a certain warmth in a kind of role that is usually hard and aggressive. She seems too nice to be a mobster's girlfriend, and maybe she is. 43. Her next work, as a frontierswoman in the CBS miniseries True Women, 1997, was even less successful. Writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer, Robert Strauss dismissed her as horrid, a fourth-rate Scarlett O'Hara who relies on gnashed teeth and overly pouted lips. 44. Jolie also starred in the music video for the Rolling Stones song Anybody Seen My Baby? As a stripper who leaves mid-performance to wander New York City. 45. Rise to prominence, 1998 to 2000. Jolie's career prospects improved after she won a Golden Globe Award for her performance in TNT's George Wallace, 1997, a film about segregationist Alabama governor and presidential candidate George Wallace, played by Gary Sinise. Jolie portrayed Wallace's second wife, Cornelia Wallace, a performance Lee Winfrey of the Philadelphia Inquirer considered a highlight of the film. 46. George Wallace was well received by critics, and Jolie received a nomination for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Miniseries or a Movie for her performance. 47. Jolie portrayed supermodel Gia Karanji in HBO's Gia, 1998. The television film chronicles the destruction of Karanji's life and career as a result of her addiction to heroin, and her decline and death from AIDS in the mid-1980s. Vanessa Vance of Real.com retrospectively noted, Jolie gained wide recognition for her role as the titular Gia, and it's easy to see why. Jolie is fierce in her portrayal, filling the part with nerve, charm, and desperation, and her role in this film is quite possibly the most beautiful train wreck ever filmed. 48. For the second consecutive year, Jolie won a Golden Globe Award and received an Emmy Award nomination. She also won her first Screen Actors Guild Award. 49. In accordance with Lee Strasberg's method acting, Jolie preferred to stay in character in between scenes during many of her early films. While shooting Gia, she told her husband, Johnny Lee Miller, that she would not be able to phone him. "I'd tell him, I'm alone, I'm dying, I'm gay, I'm not going to see you for weeks." 50. After Gia wrapped, she briefly gave up acting, because she felt that she had nothing else to give. 18. She separated from Miller and moved to New York, where she took night classes at New York University to study directing and screenwriting. 15. Encouraged by her Golden Globe Award win for George Wallace and the positive critical reception of Gia, Jolie resumed her career. 18. Following the previously filmed gangster film Hell's Kitchen, 1998, Jolie returned to the screen in Playing by Heart, 1998, part of an ensemble cast that included Sean Connery, Gillian Anderson, and Ryan Phillip. The film received predominantly positive reviews, and Jolie was praised. In particular, San Francisco Chronicle critic Peter Stack wrote, "Jolie, working through an overwritten part, is a sensation as the desperate club crawler learning truths about what she's willing to gamble." 51. She won the Breakthrough Performance Award from the National Board of Review. 52. In 1999, Jolie starred in the comedy drama Pushing Tin, alongside John Cusack, Billy Bob Thornton, and Cate Blanchett. The film met with mixed reception from critics, and Jolie's character Thornton's seductive wife was particularly criticized. Writing for The Washington Post, Dessen Howe dismissed her as a completely ludicrous writer's creation of a free-spirited woman who weeps over hibiscus plants that die, wears lots of turquoise rings and gets real lonely when Russell spends entire nights away from home. 53. Jolie then co-starred with Denzel Washington in The Bone Collector, 1999, playing a police officer who reluctantly helps Washington's quadriplegic detective track down a serial killer. The film grossed $151.5 million worldwide, 54, but was critically unsuccessful. Terry Lawson of the Detroit Free Press concluded, "Jolie, while always delicious to look at, is simply and woefully miscast." 55. Jolie is emerging as one of the great wild spirits of current movies, a loose cannon who somehow has deadly aim. Chicago Sun-Times critic Roger Ebert on Jolie's performance in Girl, Interrupted, 1999, 56. Jolie next took the supporting role of Lisa, a sociopathic patient in a psychiatric hospital, in Girl, Interrupted, 1999, an adaptation of Susanna Kayson's 1993 memoir. For Variety, Emmanuel Levy deemed her excellent as the flamboyant, irresponsible girl who turns out to be far more instrumental than the doctors in Susanna's rehabilitation. 57. Jolie won the Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress, Motion Picture, the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role, and the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the film. In 2000, Jolie appeared in her first summer blockbuster, Gone in 60 Seconds, which became her highest-grossing film to that point, earning $237.2 million internationally. 54. She had a minor role as the mechanic ex-girlfriend of a car thief played by Nicolas Cage. The Washington Post writer Stephen Hunter criticized that all she does in this movie is stand around, cooling down, modeling those fleshy, pulsating muscle tubes that nest so provocatively around her teeth. 58. Jolie later explained that the film had been a welcome relief after her emotionally demanding role in Girl, Interrupted. Worldwide recognition, 2001 to 2004. While initially recognized for critical acting achievements, Jolie solidified her status as an international superstar through the box office success of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001. An adaptation of the popular Tomb Raider video games, the film required her to learn an English accent and undergo extensive martial arts training to play the archaeologist-adventurer Lara Croft. Although the film generated mostly negative reviews, Jolie was generally praised for her physical performance. Newsday's John Anderson commented, "Jolie makes the title character a virtual icon of female competence and coolth." 59. The film was an international hit, earning $274.7 million worldwide, 54, and launched her global reputation as a female action star. Jolie next starred opposite Antonio Banderas as his mail-order bride in Original Sin, 2001, the first of a string of films that were poorly received by critics and audiences alike. The New York Times critic Elvis Mitchell questioned Jolie's decision to follow her Oscar-winning performance with softcore nonsense. 60. The romantic comedy Life or Something Like It, 2002, though equally unsuccessful, marked an unusual choice for Jolie. Salon magazine's Alan Barra considered her ambitious newscaster character a rare attempt at playing a conventional women's role, noting that her performance doesn't get off the ground until a scene where she goes punk and leads a group of striking bus workers in singing Satisfaction. 61 Despite her lack of box office success, Jolie remained in demand as an actress. 24 In 2002, she established herself among Hollywood's highest-paid actresses, earning $10 to $15 million per film for the next 5 years. 62. Jolie at the German premiere of Alexander in 2004. Jolie reprised her role as Lara Croft in Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life, 2003, which was not as lucrative as the original, earning $156.5 million at the international box office. 54 She also starred in the music video for Korn's Did My Time, which was used to promote the sequel. Her next film was Beyond Borders, 2003, in which she portrayed a socialite who joins an aid worker played by Clive Owen. Though unsuccessful with audiences, the film stands as the first of several passion projects Jolie has made to bring attention to humanitarian causes. 63 Beyond Borders was a critical failure. Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times acknowledged Jolie's ability to bring electricity and believability to roles, but wrote that the limbo of a hybrid character, a badly written cardboard person in a fly-infested, blood and guts world, completely defeats her. 64. In 2004, Jolie appeared in 4 films. She first starred in the thriller Taking Lives as an FBI profiler summoned to help Montreal law enforcement hunt down a serial killer. The film received mixed reviews. The Hollywood Reporter critic Kirk Honeycutt concluded, "Jolie plays a role that definitely feels like something she has already done, but she does add an unmistakable dash of excitement and glamour." 65. Jolie made a brief appearance as a fighter pilot in Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, a science fiction adventure shot entirely with actors in front of a blue screen, and voiced her first family film, the DreamWorks animation Shark Tale. Her supporting role as Queen Olympias in Oliver Stone's Alexander, about Alexander the Great, was met with mixed reception, particularly concerning her Slavic accent. 61 Commercially, the film failed in North America, which Stone attributed to disapproval of the depiction of Alexander's bisexuality. 66 But it succeeded internationally, grossing $167.3 million. 54. Established actress, 2005 to 2010. In 2005, Jolie returned to major box office success with the action comedy Mr. and Mrs. Smith, in which she starred opposite Brad Pitt as a bored married couple who find out that they are both secret assassins. The film received mixed reviews, but was generally lauded for the chemistry between the two leads. Star Tribune critic Colin Covert noted, "While the story feels haphazard, the movie gets by on gregarious charm, galloping energy, and the star's thermonuclear screen chemistry." 67. With box office takings of $478.2 million worldwide, Mr. and Mrs. Smith was the 7th highest grossing picture of the year and remained Jolie's highest grossing live-action film for the next decade. 54. 68. Following a supporting role as the neglected wife of a CIA officer in Robert De Niro's The Good Shepherd, 2006, Jolie starred as Marion Pearl in the documentary-style drama A Mighty Heart, 2007. Based on Pearl's 2003 memoir, the film chronicles the kidnapping and murder of her husband, the Wall Street Journal reporter Daniel Pearl, in Pakistan. Although the multiracial Pearl had personally chosen Jolie for the role, 69, the casting drew racial criticism and accusations of blackface. 70. The resulting performance was widely praised. Ray Bennett of The Hollywood Reporter described it as well-measured and moving, played with respect and a firm grasp on a difficult accent. 71. She received nominations for the Golden Globe Award and the Screen Actors Guild Award. Jolie also played Grendel's mother in the epic Beowulf, 2007, created through motion capture. The film was critically and commercially well received, earning $196.4 million worldwide. 54. Jolie as Christine Collins on the set of Changeling in 2007. In 2008, Jolie was the highest paid actress, earning $15 to $20 million per film. 72-73. While other actresses had taken salary cuts during the time, Jolie's perceived box office appeal allowed her to command as much as $20 million plus a percentage. 74. She starred alongside James McAvoy and Morgan Freeman in the action film Wanted, 2008, which proved an international success, earning $341.4 million worldwide. 54. The film received predominantly favorable reviews. Writing for the New York Times, Manala Dargis noted that Jolie was perfectly cast as a super scary, seemingly amoral assassin, adding that she cuts the kind of disciplinarian figure who can bring boys of all ages to their knees or at least into their theater seats. 75. Jolie next took the lead role in Clint Eastwood's drama Changeling, 2008. 76. Chicago Tribune critic Michael Phillips noted, Jolie really shines in the calm before the storm, the scenes when one patronizing male authority figure after another belittles her at their peril. 77. She received nominations for a Golden Globe Award, a Screen Actors Guild Award, the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role, and the Academy Award for Best Actress. 78, 79, 80, 81. Jolie also voiced Tigress in the DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda film series. 82. After her mother's death in 2007, Jolie appeared in fewer films, later explaining that her motivation to be an actress had stemmed from her mother's acting ambitions. 83. Her first film in 2 years was the 2010 thriller Salt, in which she starred as a CIA agent who goes on the run after she is accused of being a KGB sleeper agent. Originally written as a male character with Tom Cruise attached to star, Agent Salt underwent a gender change after a Columbia Pictures executive suggested Jolie for the role. With revenues of $293.5 million, Salt became an international success. 54. The film received generally positive reviews, with Jolie's performance in particular earning praise. 84. Empire critic William Thomas remarked, when it comes to selling incredible, crazy, death-defying antics, Jolie has few peers in the action business. 85. Jolie starred opposite Johnny Depp in the thriller The Tourist, 2010. The film was a critical failure. 86. Roger Ebert defended Jolie's performance, stating that she does her darndest and plays her femme fatale with flat-out, drop-dead sexuality. 87. Despite commercially underperforming in the US, the film succeeded at the international box office. 88. Cementing Jolie's appeal to international audiences. 89. She received a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Comedy or Musical nomination for her performance, which prompted speculation that it had been given merely to ensure her high-profile presence at the awards ceremony. 78-90. Expansion to directing, 2011 to 2017. Jolie at the 2011 Cannes Film Festival. After directing the documentary A Place in Time, 2007, which was distributed through the National Education Association. 91. Jolie made her feature directorial debut with In the Land of Blood and Honey, 2011, a love story between a Serb soldier and a Bosniak prisoner, set during the 1992-95 Bosnian War. She conceived the film to rekindle attention for the survivors, after twice visiting Bosnia and Herzegovina in her role as an UNRWA Goodwill Ambassador. 92. To ensure authenticity, she cast only actors from the former Yugoslavia, including stars Goran Kostic and Zana Marjanovic, and incorporated their wartime experiences into her screenplay. 93. Upon release, the film received mixed reviews. Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter wrote, Jolie deserves significant credit for creating such a powerfully oppressive atmosphere and staging the ghastly events so credibly, even if it is these very strengths that will make people not want to watch what's on screen. 94. The film was nominated for a Golden Globe Award for Best Foreign Language Film, and Jolie was named an honorary citizen of Sarajevo for raising awareness of the war. 95. After a 3.5-year absence from the screen, Jolie starred in Maleficent, 2014, a live-action reimagining of Disney's 1959 animation Sleeping Beauty. Critical reception was mixed, but Jolie's performance in the titular role was singled out for praise. 96 The Hollywood Reporter critic Sherry Linden found her to be the heart and soul of the film, adding that she doesn't chew the estimable scenery in Maleficent, she infuses it, wielding a magnetic and effortless power. 97. In its opening weekend, Maleficent earned nearly $70 million at the North American box office and over $100 million in other markets, marking Jolie's appeal to audiences of all demographics in both action and fantasy films, genres usually dominated by male actors. 98 The film went on to gross $757.8 million worldwide, becoming the fourth highest grossing film of the year and Jolie's highest grossing film ever. 54.99. Jolie next completed her second directorial venture, Unbroken, 2014, a film about Louis Zamperini, 1917 to 2014, a former Olympic track star and World War II soldier who survived a plane crash and spent 2 years in a Japanese prisoner of war camp. She also served as producer under her Jolie Pa banner. 100 Based on Laura Hillenbrand's book Unbroken, a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption, the film was scripted by the Coen brothers and starred Jack O'Connell. 101 After a positive early reception, Unbroken was considered a likely Best Picture and Best Director contender. 102 but it ultimately received mixed reviews and little award recognition. 103 Though it was named one of the best films of the year by the National Board of Review and the American Film Institute. 104 105 Variety magazine's Justin Chang noted the film's impeccable craftsmanship and sober restraint, but deemed it an extraordinary story told in dutiful, unexceptional terms. 103 106 Financially, Unbroken was successful at the box office worldwide. 107 Jolie promoting Eternals at the 2019 San Diego Comic-Con. Jolie's next directorial effort was the marital drama By the Sea, 2015, in which she starred opposite her husband, Brad Pitt, marking their first collaboration since 2005's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Based on her screenplay, the film was a deeply personal project for Jolie, who drew inspiration from her own mother's life. Critics, however, dismissed it as a vanity project, as part of an overall poor reception. 108 109 Writing for the Washington Post, Stephanie Mary noted its dearth of genuine emotion, stating, "By the Sea is dazzlingly gorgeous, as are its stars. But peeling back layer upon layer of exquisite ennui reveals nothing but emptiness, sprinkled with stilted sentiments." 110 Despite starring two of Hollywood's leading actors, the film received only a limited release. 108 As Jolie preferred to dedicate herself to her humanitarian work, her cinematic output remained infrequent. First They Killed My Father, 2017, a drama set during Cambodia's Khmer Rouge era, again enabled her to combine both interests. In addition to directing the film, she co-wrote the screenplay with her longtime friend Lung Leung, whose memoirs about the regime's child labor camp served as its source material. Intended primarily for a Cambodian audience, the film was produced directly for Netflix, which allowed for the use of an exclusively Khmer cast and script. 111 Labeling Jolie as a skilled and sensitive filmmaker, Rafer Guzman of Newsday commended her for convincingly depicting the illogical hell of the Khmer Rouge era. 112 It received nominations for the Golden Globe Award for Best Foreign Language Film and BAFTA Award for Best Film Not in the English Language. 113 114 Limited work and varying critical reception, 2019, present. Jolie in 2024. Jolie reprised the role of Maleficent in the Disney fantasy sequel Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, 2019, which received mixed reviews from critics but performed moderately well commercially, with a global gross of $490 million. 115, 116, 117. The following year, she appeared alongside David Oyelowo as grieving parents to the title characters of Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan in the fantasy film Come Away. 118. Jolie starred as a smoke jumper in Taylor Sheridan's action thriller Those Who Wish Me Dead. The film was released in May 2021, garnering moderate reviews. 119, 120. The Independent's Clarice Luffrey wrote Jolie's bare-knuckled performance easily outclasses the film that contains it. 121. Jolie next played Thena, a warrior with post-traumatic stress disorder, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe superhero film Eternals. Released in November 2021, the film generated divergent responses from audiences and critics. 122, 123. Reviewing the film for The Washington Post, Anne Hornaday highlighted the touching naivete in Jolie's portrayal. 124. Jolie was a producer on the musical The Outsiders after it transferred to Broadway in 2024. 125. And won the Tony Award for Best Musical. 126. She wrote, produced, and directed the 2024 war drama Without Blood, based on the novel by Alessandro Baricco, starring Salma Hayek and Demian Bichir. 127. Jolie also starred in Pablo Larraín's biographical film about the final days of opera singer Maria Callas, titled Maria, which premiered at the 81st Venice International Film Festival. 128. Terming it a career best performance, Tom Rees-Lafley of RogerEbert.com opined, in a queenly performance of poise and mystique, Angelina Jolie plays Callas with an ethereal presence, grasping the intense grief of the once-in-a-generation singer who's been losing her voice. 129. She received another Golden Globe nomination for Best Actress for her performance. 130. Humanitarian work and honors. UNRWA Ambassadorship. We cannot close ourselves off to information and ignore the fact that millions of people are out there suffering. I honestly want to help. I don't believe I feel differently from other people. I think we all want justice and equality, a chance for a life with meaning. All of us would like to believe that if we were in a bad situation someone would help us. Jolie on her motives for joining UNRWA in 2001. 131. Jolie first witnessed the effects of a humanitarian crisis while filming Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001, in war-torn Cambodia, an experience she later credited with having brought her a greater understanding of the world. 132. Upon her return home, Jolie contacted the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNRWA, for information on international trouble spots. 131. To learn more about the conditions in these areas, she began visiting refugee camps around the world. 24. In February 2001, she went on her first field visit, an 18-day mission to Sierra Leone and Tanzania. She later expressed her shock at what she had witnessed. 131. In the following months, Jolie returned to Cambodia for 2 weeks and met with Afghan refugees in Pakistan, where she donated $1 million in response to an international UNRWA emergency appeal. 133. 134. The largest donation UNRWA had ever received from a private individual. 135. She covered all costs related to her missions and shared the same rudimentary working and living conditions as UNRWA field staff on all of her visits. 131. Jolie was named an UNRWA Goodwill Ambassador at UNRWA headquarters in Geneva on August 27, 2001. 136. Jolie and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice at an UNRWA celebration of World Refugee Day in June 2005. Jolie is seen during her visit to war-ravaged Jaffna and other parts of Northern Province, Sri Lanka as the Goodwill Ambassador for UNRWA in 2003. Over the next decade, she went on more than 40 field missions, meeting with refugees and internally displaced persons in over 30 countries. 137. In 2002, when asked what she hoped to accomplish, she stated, "Awareness of the plight of these people. I think they should be commended for what they have survived, not looked down upon." 133. To that end, her 2001-02 field visits were chronicled in her book Notes from My Travels, which was published in October 2003 in conjunction with the release of her humanitarian drama Beyond Borders. Jolie aimed to visit what she termed forgotten emergencies, crises that media attention had shifted away from. 138. She became noted for traveling to war zones. 139, such as Sudan's Darfur region during the Darfur conflict. 140, the Syrian-Iraqi border during the Second Gulf War. 141, where she met privately with U.S. troops and other multinational forces. 142, and the Afghan capital Kabul during the war in Afghanistan, where 3 aid workers were murdered in the midst of her first visit. 139. To aid her travels, she started to take flying lessons in 2004 with the aim of ferrying aid workers and food supplies around the world. Jolie acquired a pilot license in 2004. As of May 2014, she owns a Cirrus SR-22 aircraft and a Cessna 208 Caravan aircraft. 143. 144. On April 17, 2012, after more than a decade of service as a UNRWA Goodwill Ambassador, Jolie was promoted to the rank of Special Envoy to High Commissioner Antonio Guterres, the first to take on such a position within the organization. In her expanded role, she was given authority to represent Guterres and UNRWA at the diplomatic level, with a focus on major refugee crises. 145. In the months following her promotion, she made her first visit as Special Envoy, her third overall, to Ecuador, where she met with Colombian refugees. 146, and she accompanied Guterres on a week-long tour of Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, and Iraq, to assess the situation of refugees from neighboring Syria. 147. Since then, Jolie has been on over a dozen field missions around the world to meet with refugees and undertake advocacy on their behalf. 137. 148. Jolie resigned from the ambassadorship in December 2022. 149. In her announcement, she pledged to continue to advocate for refugees. 150. Conservation and community development. Jolie at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in January 2005. In an effort to connect her Cambodian-born adopted son with his heritage, Jolie purchased a house in his country of birth in 2003. The traditional home sat on 39 hectares in the northwestern province Battambang, adjacent to Samlaut National Park in the Cardamom Mountains, which had become infiltrated with poachers who threatened endangered species. She purchased the park's 60,000 hectares and turned the area into a wildlife reserve named for her son, the Maddox Jolie Project. 151. In November 2006, Jolie expanded the scope of the project, renamed the Maddox Jolie Pitt Foundation, MJP, to create Asia's first Millennium Village, in accordance with UN Development Goals. 152. She was inspired by a meeting with the founder of Millennium Promise, noted economist Jeffrey Sachs, at the World Economic Forum in Davos. 151, where she was an invited speaker in 2005 and 2006. Together they filmed a 2005 MTV special, The Diary of Angelina Jolie and Dr. Jeffrey Sachs in Africa, which followed them on a trip to a Millennium Village in western Kenya. By mid-2007, some 6,000 villagers and 72 employees, some of them former poachers employed as rangers, lived and worked at MJP, in 10 villages previously isolated from one another. The compound includes schools, roads, and a soy milk factory, all funded by Jolie. Her home functions as the MJP field headquarters. 151. After filming Beyond Borders, 2003, in Namibia, Jolie became patron of the Harness Wildlife Foundation, a wildlife orphanage and medical center in the Kalahari Desert. She first visited the Harness farm during production of the film, which features vultures rescued by the foundation. 153. In December 2010, Jolie and her partner, Brad Pitt, established the Shiloh Jolie Pitt Foundation to support conservation work by the Nankyos Wildlife Sanctuary, a nature reserve also located in the Kalahari. 154 in name of their Namibian-born daughter. They have funded large animal conservation projects as well as a free health clinic, housing, and a school for the San Bushman community at Nankuas. 155 156 157 Jolie and Pitt support other causes through the Jolie Pitt Foundation, established in September 2006. 158. Child immigration and education. Jolie has pushed for legislation to aid child immigrants and other vulnerable children in both the U.S. and developing nations, including the Unaccompanied Alien Child Protection Act of 2005. 136 159. She lobbied for humanitarian interests in the U.S. Capitol from 2003 onwards, explaining, "As much as I would love to never have to visit Washington, that's the way to move the ball." 136. Since October 2008, she has co-chaired Kids in Need of Defense, KIND, a network of leading U.S. law firms that provide free legal aid to unaccompanied minors in immigration proceedings across the U.S. 160 founded in a collaboration between Jolie and the Microsoft Corporation. By 2013, KIND had become the principal provider of pro bono lawyers for immigrant children. 161 Jolie had previously, from 2005 to 2007, funded the launch of a similar initiative, the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants National Center for Refugee and Immigrant Children. 159 162. Jolie on the cover of Ms. Magazine in 2015, in which she discusses child marriage. Jolie has also advocated for children's education. Since its founding at the Clinton Global Initiative's annual meeting in September 2007, she has co-chaired the Education Partnership for Children of Conflict, which provides policy and funding to education programs for children in conflict-affected regions. 163 In its first year, the partnership supported education projects for Iraqi refugee children, youth affected by the Darfur conflict, and girls in rural Afghanistan, among other affected groups. 163 The partnership has worked closely with the Council on Foreign Relations Center for Universal Education founded by the partnership's co-chair, noted economist Gene Sperling, to establish education policies, which resulted in recommendations made to UN agencies, G8 development agencies, and the World Bank. 164 Since April 2013, all proceeds from Jolie's high-end jewelry collection, Style of Jolie, have benefited the partnership's work. 165 Jolie additionally launched the Malala Fund, a grant system established by Pakistani education activist Malala Yousafzai, at the 2013 Women in the World Summit 166. She personally contributed over $200,000 to the cause. 167. Jolie has funded a school and boarding facility for girls at Kakuma refugee camp in northwestern Kenya. 168 which opened in 2005. 169 and two primary schools for girls in the returnee settlements Tangi and Kalegudar in eastern Afghanistan, which opened in March 2010 and November 2012 respectively. 171 In addition to the facilities at the Millennium Village she established in Cambodia, Jolie had built at least 10 other schools in the country by 2005. 172 In February 2006, she opened the Maddox Shivan Children's Center, a medical and educational facility for children affected by HIV, in the Cambodian capital Phnom Penh. 152 In Sabeta, Ethiopia, the birthplace of her eldest daughter, she funds a sister facility, the Zahara Children's Center, which treats and educates children who have HIV or tuberculosis. Both centers are run by the Global Health Committee. 173 174. Jolie is the executive producer of the BBC programme My World, which aims to teach teenagers how to think critically about what they read and how to tell high-quality journalism from bad. 175 She and Amnesty International released a children's rights book titled Know Your Rights and Claim Them on September 2, 2021. She co-authored the book with British human rights lawyer Geraldine Van Buren. 176. Human rights and women's rights. Jolie at the launch of the Preventing Sexual Violence Initiative in 2012. After Jolie joined the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, in June 2007, 177 she hosted a symposium on international law and justice at CFR headquarters and funded several CFR special reports, including Intervention to Stop Genocide and Mass Atrocities. 148. 160. In January 2011, she established the Jolie Legal Fellowship 178, a network of lawyers and attorneys who are sponsored to advocate the development of human rights in their countries. 179. Its member attorneys, called Jolie Legal Fellows, have facilitated child protection efforts in Haiti in the wake of the 2010 earthquake and promoted the development of an inclusive democratic process in Libya following the 2011 revolution. 178. 179. 180. Jolie has fronted a campaign against sexual violence in military conflict zones by the UK government, which made the issue a priority of its 2013 G8 presidency. In May 2012, she launched the Preventing Sexual Violence Initiative, PSVI, with Foreign Secretary William Hague. 181, who was inspired to campaign on the issue by her Bosnian war drama In the Land of Blood and Honey, 2011. 182. PSVI was established to complement wider UK government work by raising awareness and promoting international cooperation. 181. Jolie spoke on the subject at the G8 Foreign Ministers meeting 183, where the attending nations adopted a historic declaration. 181. And before the UN Security Council, which responded by adopting its broadest resolution on the issue to date. 184. In June 2014, she co-chaired the 4-day Global Summit to End Sexual Violence in Conflict, the largest ever meeting on the subject. 185, which resulted in a protocol endorsed by 151 nations. 186. Through her work on the PSVI, Jolie met foreign policy experts Chloe Dalton and Armand Kahilik, who served as special advisors to Hague. Their collaboration resulted in the 2015 founding of Jolie Pitt Dalton Helik, a partnership dedicated to women's rights and international justice, among other causes. 187. In May 2016, Jolie was appointed a visiting professor at the London School of Economics to contribute to a postgraduate degree program at the university's Centre on Women, Peace, and Security. 188, which she had launched with Hague the previous year. 186. In February 2022, Jolie with her daughter Zahara visited Washington, D.C. for the Senate introduction of the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act, a bill designed to prevent and respond to domestic violence, sexual assault, dating violence, and stalking. 189. She worked closely with the bill's sponsors and advocates. 189. She's also an advocate for Cadence Law, a law focuses on trauma-informed court processes, legal standards, and judicial training that minimizes the risk of harm to children. 190. Jolie is an advocate for the passage of the Justice for All Reauthorization Act of 2022, a law created to improve crime victims' right to evidence and agency reports, forensic science, end the rape kit backlog, and address racial disparities in wrongful convictions in America's criminal legal system. 191. In September 2020, Jolie made a donation to 2 young boys who were running a lemonade stand in London to raise money for the people of Yemen, as the country was on the brink of humanitarian crisis caused by the Saudi-led coalition and Houthi rebels. 192. In March 2022, a month into the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Jolie visited Ukrainian children at the Vatican Children's Hospital Bambino Gesù. According to the clinic, Jolie commented, "I am praying for an end to the war. This is the only way to end the suffering and the flight from the conflict zone. It's terrifying to see children paying the price in lost lives, compromised health, and trauma." 193. She visited Lviv in May to meet with more displaced and hospitalized children. 195 Jolie returned to Ukraine in November 2025, visiting schools and medical centers in Kherson and Mykolaiv. 196. In 2023, Jolie voiced strong criticism of Israel for its military actions in Gaza during the Gaza war. In a statement posted on Instagram, Jolie condemned what she described as the deliberate bombing of a trapped population in the densely populated Palestinian enclave. She accused global leaders of complicity in these crimes for their silence and demanded a humanitarian ceasefire. 197-198 On January 2, 2026, Jolie visited the Rafah border crossing in Egypt to evaluate the delivery of humanitarian aid into Gaza and to meet Palestinians who were transferred for medical treatment. 199-200-201. Recognition and honors. Jolie at the Global Summit to End Sexual Violence in Conflict in 2014. Jolie has received wide recognition for her humanitarian work. In August 2002, she received the inaugural Humanitarian Award from the Church World Services Immigration and Refugee Program 202, and in October 2003, she was the first recipient of the Citizen of the World Award by the United Nations Correspondents Association. 203 She was awarded the Global Humanitarian Award by the UNA USA in October 2005. 204 And she received the Freedom Award from the International Rescue Committee in November 2007. 205 In October 2011, UN High Commissioner for Refugees Antonio Guterres presented Jolie with a gold pin reserved for the most long-serving staff, in recognition of her decade as a UNRWA Goodwill Ambassador. 206. In November 2013, Jolie received the Jean Hershold Humanitarian Award, an honorary Academy Award, from the Board of Governors of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. 207-208 In June 2014, she was appointed an honorary Dame Commander of the Order of St. Michael and St. George, DCMG, for her services to the UK's foreign policy and campaigning to end sexual violence in war zones. 209-210 Queen Elizabeth II presented Jolie with the insignia of her honorary damehood during a private ceremony the following October. 211. Personal life. Relationships and marriages. Jolie had a serious boyfriend for 2 years from the age of 14. Her mother allowed them to live together in her home, of which Jolie later said, "I was either going to be reckless on the streets with my boyfriend or he was going to be with me in my bedroom with my mom in the next room." She made the choice, and because of it, I continued to go to school every morning and explored my first relationship in a safe way. 212. She has compared the relationship to a marriage in its emotional intensity, and said that the breakup compelled her to dedicate herself to her acting career at age 16. 213. During filming of Hackers, 1995, Jolie had a romance with actor Johnny Lee Miller, her first lover since the relationship in her early teens. 18 They were not in touch for months after production ended, but eventually reconnected and married soon after in March 1996. She attended her wedding in black rubber pants and a white t-shirt, upon which she had written the groom's name in her blood. 214 The relationship ended the following year, with Jolie saying her busy work schedule kept them apart too often. 215 Jolie remained on good terms with Miller, whom she called a solid man and a solid friend. 23 Their divorce, initiated by Jolie in February 1999, was finalized shortly before she remarried the next year. 216-217. Prior to her marriage to Miller, Jolie began a relationship with model and actress Jenny Shimizu on the set of Foxfire, 1996. In 1997, she said, "I would probably have married Jenny if I hadn't married my husband. I fell in love with her the first second I saw her." 218. According to Shimizu, Their relationship lasted several years and continued even while Jolie was romantically involved with other people. 219 In a 1997 interview with the lesbian magazine Girlfriends, she was asked how she felt about being a sex symbol to both men and women. She responded, "It's great because I love men and women." 218. In 2003, when asked if she was bisexual, Jolie answered, "Of course. If I fell in love with a woman tomorrow, would I feel that it's okay to want to kiss and touch her? If I fell in love with her? Absolutely. Yes." 220. Jolie with her then partner Brad Pitt at the 81st Academy Awards in 2009, where they each received an Academy Award nomination. After a 2-month courtship, Jolie married actor Billy Bob Thornton on May 5, 2000, in Las Vegas. They had met on the set of Pushing Tin, 1999, but did not pursue a relationship at that time, as Thornton was engaged to actress Laura Dern, while Jolie was reportedly dating actor Timothy Hutton, her co-star in Playing God, 1997. 217 As a result of their frequent public declarations of passion and gestures of love, most famously wearing one another's blood in vials around their necks, their marriage became a favorite topic of the entertainment media. 221 Jolie and Thornton announced the adoption of a child from Cambodia in March 2002 but abruptly separated 3 months later. 222 Thornton filed for divorce, saying their lifestyles were too different. 223 Their divorce was finalized on May 27, 2003. When asked about the sudden dissolution of their marriage, Jolie stated, "It took me by surprise, too, because overnight, we totally changed. I think one day we had just nothing in common. And it's scary, but I think it can happen when you get involved and you don't know yourself yet." 24. Jolie was involved in a prominent scandal when she was accused of causing the divorce of actors Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston in October 2005, who had been living apart since January 2005. 224 She said she fell in love with Pitt during the filming of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, 2005, but dismissed allegations of an affair. 225 saying, "To be intimate with a married man, when my own father cheated on my mother, is not something I could forgive. I could not look at myself in the morning if I did that. I wouldn't be attracted to a man who would cheat on his wife." 220. Neither Jolie nor Pitt would publicly comment on the nature of their relationship until January 2006, when she confirmed they were expecting their first child together. 226. During their 12-year relationship, the couple were dubbed Brangelina, a portmanteau coined by the media, and were the subject of worldwide media coverage. 227 They became known as one of Hollywood's most glamorous couples. 228 Their family grew to include 6 children, 3 of whom were adopted, before they announced their engagement in April 2012. 229 Jolie and Pitt were legally married on August 14, 2014, and had their wedding in a private ceremony at the Château Miraval, France on August 23, 2014. 230 She subsequently took the name Angelina Jolie Pitt. After 2 years of marriage, the couple separated on September 15, 2016. On September 19, Jolie filed for divorce citing irreconcilable differences. 231 They were declared legally single on April 12, 2019. 232 After Pitt sued Jolie for selling her share of a winery they owned to a third party, she filed a countersuit, in which she alleged that he physically and verbally abused her and their children on a plane in 2016. 233. Children. Jolie has 6 children, 3 were adopted internationally, while 3 are biological. On March 10, 2002, Jolie adopted her first child, 234 7-month-old Maddox Shivan 31, from an orphanage in Battambang, Cambodia. 235 He was born on August 5, 2001, 236 in a local village. 23 after twice visiting Cambodia, while filming Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, 2001, and on a Ungerfield mission, Jolie returned in November 2001 with her then-husband, Billy Bob Thornton, where they met and subsequently applied to adopt Maddox. 237 The adoption process was halted the following month when the U.S. government banned adoptions from Cambodia amid allegations of child trafficking. 237 Although Jolie's adoption facilitator was later convicted of visa fraud and money laundering, her adoption of Maddox was deemed lawful. 238 Once the process was finalized, she took custody of Maddox in Namibia, where she was filming Beyond Borders, 2003. 237 Jolie and Thornton announced the adoption together, but she adopted Maddox alone. 222 239 Becoming a single parent following her separation from Thornton 3 months later. 222 240 Jolie adopted her second child, 6-month-old Zahara Marley, from an orphanage in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, on July 6, 2005. 241 242 Zahara was born on January 8, 2005, in Aweza. 243 244 Jolie initially believed Zahara to be an AIDS orphan. 245 Based on official testimony from her grandmother. 246 But Zahara's birth mother later came forward in the media. She explained that she had abandoned her family when Zahara became sick, and said she thought Zahara was very fortunate to have been adopted by Jolie. 243 Jolie was accompanied by her then partner, Brad Pitt, when she traveled to Ethiopia to take custody of Zahara. 241 She later indicated that they had together made the decision to adopt from Ethiopia. 247 Having first visited the country earlier that year. 248 After Pitt announced his intention to adopt her children. 249 She filed a petition to legally change their surname from Jolie to Jolie Pitt, which was granted on January 19, 2006. 244 Pitt adopted Maddox and Zahara soon after. 250 A pregnant Jolie attending the premiere of Changeling with director Clint Eastwood at the 2008 Cannes Film Festival. In an attempt to avoid the unprecedented media frenzy surrounding their relationship, Jolie and Pitt traveled to Namibia for the birth of their first biological child. 227 On May 27, 2006, she gave birth to Shiloh Nouvel, in Swakopmund. 251 Shiloh's middle name is homage to French architect Jean Nouvel. 252 During labor, Jolie had fits of hysteric laughter due to the administration of morphine. 253 They sold the first pictures of Shiloh through the distributor Getty Images with the aim of benefiting charity, rather than allowing paparazzi to take the photographs. 250 People and Hello magazines purchased the North American and British rights to the images for $4.10 and $3.5 million, respectively, a record in celebrity photojournalism at that time. 254 With all proceeds donated to UNICEF. 255 On March 15, 2007, Jolie adopted her third child, 3-year-old Pax Tien, from an orphanage in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. 256 Pax had been born on November 29, 2003, in HCMC, and had been abandoned soon after birth. 257 After visiting the orphanage with Pitt in November 2006, Jolie applied for adoption as a single parent, because Vietnam's adoption regulations did not allow unmarried couples to co-adopt. 256 After their return to the United States, she petitioned the court to change Pax Tien's surname from Jolie to Jolie Pitt, which was approved on May 31. 258 Pitt subsequently adopted Pax on February 21, 2008. 259 At the 2008 Cannes Film Festival, Jolie confirmed that she was expecting twins. During the 2 weeks she spent in a seaside hospital in Nice, France, reporters and photographers camped on the promenade outside it. 260 She gave birth in July 2008 to Knox Leon Jolie Pitt and Vivienne Marc-Hélène Jolie Pitt. They were born in Nice, France. The first pictures of the twins were jointly sold to People and Hello for a reported $14 million, the most expensive celebrity photographs ever taken. All proceeds were donated to the Jolie Pitt Foundation. 261. Cambodian nationality. In 2004, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen offered Jolie Cambodian nationality due to her humanitarian work in the country. 262 Cambodia holds special significance for Jolie as the birthplace of her adopted son. 263 Maddox Shivan. 264 In 2005, the citizenship process was completed when King Norodom Sihamoni granted Jolie Cambodian citizenship through a royal decree. 2. Cancer prevention treatment. On February 16, 2013, at age 37, Jolie underwent a preventive double mastectomy after learning she had an 87% risk of developing breast cancer due to a defective BRCA1 gene. 265 Her maternal family history warranted genetic testing for BRCA mutations. Her mother had breast cancer and died of ovarian cancer, while her grandmother died of ovarian cancer. 266 267 Her aunt, who had the same BRCA1 defect, died of breast cancer 3 months after Jolie's operation. 268 Following the mastectomy, which lowered her chances of developing breast cancer to under 5%, Jolie had reconstructive surgery involving implants and allografts, transplantations from a donor. 266 2 years later, in March 2015, after annual test results indicated possible signs of early ovarian cancer, she underwent a preventive salpingo-oophorectomy, removal of an ovary and its fallopian tube, as she had a 50% risk of developing ovarian cancer due to the same genetic anomaly. Despite hormone replacement therapy, the surgery brought on premature menopause. 267. I choose not to keep my story private because there are many women who do not know that they might be living under the shadow of cancer. It is my hope that they, too, will be able to get gene tested, and that if they have a high risk they, too, will know that they have strong options. Jolie on her reasons for speaking out about her mastectomy. 265. After completing each operation, Jolie discussed her mastectomy and oophorectomy in op-eds published by the New York Times, with the aim of helping other women make informed health choices. She detailed her diagnosis, surgeries, and personal experiences, and described her decision to undergo preventive surgery as a proactive measure for the sake of her 6 children. 265 267 269 Jolie further wrote, on a personal note, I do not feel any less of a woman. I feel empowered that I made a strong choice that in no way diminishes my femininity. 265. Jolie's announcement of her mastectomy attracted widespread publicity and discussion on BRCA mutations and genetic testing. 270 Her decision was met with praise from various public figures. 271 While health campaigners welcomed her raising awareness of the options available to at-risk women. 272 Dubbed the Angelina effect by a Time cover story. 273 Jolie's influence led to a global and long-lasting increase in BRCA gene testing. 274 The number of referrals tripled in Australia and doubled in the United Kingdom, parts of Canada, and India. 274 275 276 as well as significantly increased in other European countries and the United States. 277 278 279 Researchers in Canada and the United Kingdom found that despite the large increase, the percentage of mutation carriers remained the same, meaning Jolie's message had reached those most at risk. 274 In her first op-ed, Jolie had advocated for wider accessibility of BRCA gene testing and acknowledged the high costs. 280 which were greatly reduced after a 2013 U.S. Supreme Court ruling invalidated BRCA gene patents held by Myriad Genetics. 281-282. Reception. Public image. Jolie at the 2007 Cannes Film Festival. As the daughter of actor Jon Voight, Jolie appeared in the media from an early age. 30 early in her own career, she gained a reputation as a wild child, which contributed to her success in the late 1990s and early 2000s. 283 celebrity profiles routinely covered her fascination with blood and knives, experiences with drugs, and her sex life, particularly her bisexuality and interest in sadomasochism. 284 in 2000, when asked about her outspokenness, she stated, "I say things that other people might go through. That's what artists should do, throw things out there and not be perfect and not have answers for anything and see if people understand." 284. Another contributing factor to her controversial image were tabloid rumors of incest that emerged when Jolie, upon winning her Oscar for